You just decided to. Were you there at Patty's? There was one night at Patty's that I decided to go, and I wore a bathrobe because it was cold out. Oh, don't capture. Alrighty, alrighty. We are, but I'm sort of trying to figure things out ever so slightly. Cause yeah, hang on. Ah, crop. Here we go. Oh, no, I don't want that. Give me this one. Um, it's the anniversary of the number of episodes we've done. So I'm at that is three. No wait, two. Yeah, 200. Ian remembers better than I do because I'm. We brought that up really quickly last year, and then decided that is a terrible idea, and no one should do that. Yeah. Lose my number. I was not. I was not okay. Well, that. Yeah, I don't know things. Well, okay, I've got it all set up the way that I want it to be set up, and so if anybody else joins, which I have invited other people to join, I have said you guys should come along. That is the short answer. It is the three of us. I invited James, who has been on the show. I have invited my friend Jeff. They both said, oh no, they both said they work in the morning and they're busy. I invited Ananda, who's excited, but he came down with a sickness. He is not very well right now. I invited David, who's been on the show. He also announced that this morning he was not feeling very well. So we are the only ones who either don't work in the morning or don't care and are feeling pretty healthy. That's effectively what's going on. It's just us, but that's fine. And we've got yeah. The plan is to expand and make it fun, but I don't care.
Be fun. Only by expanding it is it going to be fun. I thought,
Drinking is always fun.
uh-huh. Immediately, I guess I want to ask immediately again, even though Ross, you'd be doing this, what are you drinking? Because I'm doing the same as last time.
I didn't do the same as last time. There's a few loggers. There's a few new loggers that are in, and this is one of
Go on.
them. This is called Jake's Easy Lager. It is a 5%, but from Nine Locks Brewing, and it's brand new on the thing. Uh,
Mm.
Inspired by Nova Scotia's favorite classic lagers, using premium ingredients, blah blah blah, bright, light, and priced just right. And in fact, it was on sale. Case of it cost me $23.
Wow, that's really good. This is $28. I've gone with the same as last time because it's so easy to drink.
That's
Polar
true.
Gold.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm hoping
think-
this is as well, because I know Good Robot's got a case of lager. I was contemplating the Dirty Blonde from Nine Logs.
Yeah.
I was considering that, but I wasn't sure if lager has more body than a blonde. I'm so scared. Anyway, we're a little bit late. I am Ross. Joining me are Kier and Ian, my co-hosts for tonight, and together for the second time we're attempting to drink more than Nova Scotia Dry. We're attempting something really insane. It is Centurion Challenge or Century Club Challenge the second, because it is our 200th week. We have passed 200 episodes, 200 nights being live. So I've done the math. Approximately every 2 years we get to do this. So we'll be back here in 2 years if this doesn't kill us first. Ian and Kier have already asked me what I'm drinking tonight. It was the Total Gold last year, but this year it is the Jake's Easy Lager from Nine Logs Brewing. I think it's a brand new-ish. It was new to me in the LC. I hadn't seen it before, and the price was right. It was on sale, so I got it for $23. So there we go.
Well, it's good.
And Ian, what are you drinking?
Classic Solar Gold. If it ain't
That's-
broke, don't fix it. It went okay last time, a couple of years ago, and I thought, well, I didn't throw up on that, and it's so smooth and easy to drink without blowing my head off. I thought I could try something a bit different. Ross sent me the list of things that were available in the NSLC, including that Jake, and I thought I'm tempted. However, maybe I'll hold off on that for another night and just go with what I know that I know I can drink. So that's what I've gone with. And you, mate?
I was today after work. I went into the parking lot of the Wolfville liquor store and looked over what the list that Ross sent me of beers under 5%. I rarely ever drink beers under 5%, but I know last year though, I think me and Ross were talking about it earlier. I only got to 50. I had to cut out, I think, earlier than you guys.
It wasn't that. It was because we forgot. We only told you we were going to 50. The plan last year was to only go to 50.
Right. And I got there, but you guys were going to go further, and I ran out of beer, and I was like, well.
Yeah.
So today, I went with price-wise, but I actually went with Toller Light because I drank 2 facts beer before this episode. I was playing some guitar. And I don't want to get shit faced. So, like, I did a workout afterwards. I took a shower. I mean, but yeah, no,
That's good.
yeah, I went with a safe option. And I mean, last year I think I got Toller, and hey, Toller it's a pretty good average 5% beer. It tastes pretty good. I'm mostly an
It's
IPA
really
guy. I mean,
Yeah.
You've had me on for the IPA episodes, but like, man, a good lager is a good lager, right? And Toller has been kind of like a
Good to
popular lager.
Well, this is why I was
And I
curious
never
if
get
Blonde
beer
Ale
like
would make a difference.
Ross, Rebecca is standing by with the old countdown thing.
Yes.
So
I- we need to put her to
If you
work. We need to get serious.
Okay, I was going to say. So she's going to be keeping us in line, if you don't mind. And if she wants to press go, I mean, maybe we can sort of start because it's already 10 after 8, and
It's true.
Not going too close to 10.
It's true.
So
It's true.
We
You're
can
She
discuss.
was our timekeeper last year, wasn't she? Right?
I know.
Well-
She's a very good sport.
No, she's saying she was.
Okay.
You know what? The reason why I'm saying yes and no is because I got so loud that I'm going 3, 2, 1, and then I watched it back and I thought, my God, I totally scoped
It wasn't that bad. You're exaggerating. Anyway, all right. Ready
Right.
for the first one? Ready to start the timer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you off?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going. Yes.
Was that it? We're off.
Yeah.
You're off.
Oh. 1.
1.
1. This could get old very quickly. You know, it's always nice. I didn't have anything last night, and when it was getting to sort of 6 or 7 in the evening, I normally think to myself, I might have a little beer now, and the temptation was there, but I'm thinking, why on earth would I do that? But Keir, there's no stopping that guy. He's like, I don't care about those rules. I'm just going to have a couple before my 100. Christ, that takes some doing. I'm glad you're only on the light, mate. To be honest, because that's what 4 is it 4%, Kier?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4%. Okay, but you've already lined your stomach.
It'll
Yeah, but I took a good hour break though before between the two. Like I said, I did a little workout, like a brief little workout. I was telling Ross while I was trying to set everything up, I was like quickly. Forgot how fast a minute goes by.
It doesn't hang around, does it, mate? There's only 60 little seconds in a minute.
Passes, whether you're ready for it or not. I am packing these dangerously close to the edge of my table here.
As I am.
I think that was a problem last time.
I've got 2 rows of 13, and already a couple of them are done. So I'll just keep each time they come along. Rebecca's already cracked the next one. It's great having a help.
Yeah, I feel like we all need a coach, but my coach is currently making sure that our son is asleep, who was not around the last time we did this. I was showing Brittany the video for the last time we did it, and she said, "Oh yeah, I am way pregnant in that one." I said, "Yeah, I wasn't asking you for any favors when you were like pretty much 8.5 months pregnant at the time."
Okay, here's the next one, fellas.
Can I just say, this is pretty good.
You like that, huh?
I hope to maybe compare a couple of lagers. I'm not sure if did we get around to the Good Robot lager. They've got that one as well. I know I've got a few cans of it here. We haven't met up to trade cans of things that we want to do on the show in a while. So I feel like I've got a bunch in there, and I've got 2 cans of it, and I think, why do I have 2 cans of it? I got that such a long time ago.
I've still got 4 cans to give you, and they've been sat there for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And I keep saying next time I'm round, like even in the area, I'm going to pop it in. But just things haven't worked out that way recently. What to do with snow and stuff. But I'll get there.
The weather has been just crap.
Ross, do you remember the not the last Christmas episode you had, but the one the year before when I had the case of the missing beer?
Yeah.
I eventually did figure that out. A roommate of mine drank it.
Was the 3 beers that blew away here?
See, that's what I thought, because I didn't. But what he thought was it was like a neighbor's beer that they just left behind. I mean, there was no context to him. And when I mentioned it, he was like, "Oh fuck, right?" I was like, "Oh."
If nothing else, I'm happy it went to someone you knew. To the household. Did the roommate say whether or not they enjoyed them? Because if I remember correctly, that was like the Naughty or Nice. You know, I think that was our first attempt at the Naughty or Nice down from Great Roads.
Well, really, it was just he didn't really give me the notes. It was just 3 beers. He thought he just fucking drank them. But you know what though? Like he felt bad about it. He brought up a few beers the next night.
Oh, that's nice.
It was it was like a sincere mistake.
Good to know, because that was quite a mystery for a little while. I
really did think, because it was windy, right?
Yeah.
I really did think they blew away. I went up and down that fucking driveway. Like,
well,
searching for just rogue cans.
In the blistering cold, at like holding on to my hat so it wouldn't blow away, but
uphill both ways.
I wasn't wearing the Beetlejuice hat, but I was wearing like a cap. But
what?
So that was Christmassy episode. Was that last year or the year before?
No, it was 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago. Good grief.
So I had to improvise. Do you remember I had to improvise and find 3 IPAs that, like, I bought the big spruce because it had a tree on the front.
A tree that looked like a Christmas tree. Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I got the nut brown because
you eat nuts at Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, it was a bit of a stretch. I can admit that. But it was still a fun episode to do.
Is anyone counting?
Yeah, 6.
Oh, okay.
Rebecca's doing all that. She's being very
I
professional.
am not counting. I am just when I see you guys raise a glass, I raise a glass.
I know, I'm gonna go until I've run out, and then I'll fix it all in post. I'll edit the crap out of it later. I don't know. This is pretty tasty. I recommend giving this one a try. It's nice and light, but there's a bit of a flavor in the body, and it's very smooth. There's no skonkiness to it at all. I would put this up against, honestly, it's comparable to a Toller Gold, to be honest.
I will
what's
also point
makes it-
out there's a pack of cards in the movie questions that is not open.
Oh,
So I won't be repeating questions from
so you know you're not
the
cheating.
last one.
Did you say what's the percentage, Ian?
No,
Where is it from?
who brews it?
9 locks.
9 Locks. I thought he said.
Yeah, they're always good.
Well, they are, aren't they?
They are.
You don't.
They're quite
many-
good.
Yeah, there's not many cans of those or anything that they do, and you're like, yeah, not really a big fan of that. They're all pretty damn good.
Sober Island is proven. to
Sober
be
Island as well.
Pretty good too.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't
And
have
they-
any sober islands that I do not like. That's for sure.
Some of the breweries that we traditionally weren't getting on with particularly well, they've won me over too. I mean, 9 Locks being, sorry, 9 Locks, Two Crows being a perfect example
Mm-hmm.
of everything I tried of theirs at first. I was like, I'm not really liking this. And then all of a sudden, 2 or 3 in a row, you're like, whoa, this is good. And that one hasn't got a line on it. What's going on there?
Oh,
Oh
That's
no.
schoolboy. Oh no.
2,
Oops.
1.
Oh,
Okay, there we go. Next one. Can you hear that little bong, 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 bong going on? Does that give you a...
Nope, I can just hear Rebecca counting down from 3, 2, 1.
Mhm,
I can't hear the bong 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 either.
Bong, 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 bong. I can hear it.
Yeah.
But
You want your first trivia question?
Yeah,
sure.
let's crack open the movie trivia questions. Let's see what we know about Star Wars.
Sorry, this one's a fairly easy one. In Toy Story, what is the name of the boy next door who blows up toys?
oh, what is his name?
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Russell?
Remember, he wore the skull and the black shirt.
Yeah.
And he
Rebecca
was
just
the
said
garbage
Russell.
man.
That's not a million miles away, is it?
No, and
Rusty.
they mention his name and they say, "Oh, it's next door at so and so's house," and
Billy.
I can't remember.
I don't think I've got it.
2, 1.
You want the answer?
Can we have it?
Sid.
Sid! Oh, shit. Knew that. Yeah, I knew that.
I
Good sack.
can't say if I mean, Toy Story was the second movie I ever saw in theaters as a kid.
Oh wow.
Aladdin was the first, but I've always had a soft spot for the Toy Story movies, but I don't know if I would have really gotten that one, though.
I feel like I
It's-
should have. I've seen that movie so many times.
Totally. I have it on DVD. I was in Cyprus in 1996. I believe it came out in 96. And a bunch of us, would it have been 95? Maybe 95. A bunch of grown adults went to the cinema all together to watch it. There were no children in this theatre. All adults, and we all pissed ourselves laughing watching it the year it came out. 3, 2, 1. It's genius. And the second one was almost as good as the first.
That's 10,
I
boys.
thought the second one actually picked up on a few things that the first one. The first one was sort of not clumsy out the gate, but tentative out the gate. They were a bit. Is anyone gonna like this? And the second one, they could kind of really double down on some of the things that they could do. So I prefer the second one, and that's not often you get a sequel.
The second one has that great scene where they're all in the elevator shaft, and Buzz Lightyear's like, "I'm going to let go of the wall." They're like, "No, don't do that."
That was I forgot about that one. That was a good one.
The third one was that's what sealed it for being one of the greatest movie trilogies of all time, up there with Star Wars and Godfather. For its people recognize that as being one of the great trilogies now, the Toy Story trilogy, and that's quite
They
something
went
for.
Back to the Future.
Oh yeah,
2, 1.
a one. Cause And I haven't seen the new one. There's a new one without him, isn't there?
What,
The little
Back to
girl,
the Future?
the little girl or something that's taken over from him or something. I don't know. Or am I making this up? Am I dreaming this? Am I
There's a
dreaming
Toy
this?
Story
There-
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a 5?
No, I meant
No.
4. So is it a little girl or a little boy in Toy Story 4?
It's a new. I think it's a new. I've never seen the fourth one, but it's like a
Oh,
new
is it?
kid. It deals with like rogue toys. Like I've never seen it though. I've seen it as far as the third one. I might watch the fourth one. I've heard it's not bad, but you know what I mean. Like
Well, it's your childhood, though, Kia, I guess. That's why you probably have so much affection for it as well. For me, it wasn't my childhood. It's just a fantastically brilliant trilogy, regardless. Cheers. We have almost done a can. One more, and we've done a can.
One single can.
I think I'm cracking open another can now.
Aha! Right.
Yeah, I need to start
Yeah, that makes sense.
filling.
Oh no, sorry. There is still one left in the other can. The first
Yeah.
can.
So we know that you get 13 shots out of the average can. Of course, each can might have a
Good to know.
tiny. We know that it's good to know. Yeah, there might be tiny little differences. We know some of the cans, you crack the ring pull, and it's already right to the lip, right to the lip of the. And then other times you open it and you've got a little space in there.
That's a good point. So from the craft beer perspective, I mean these are the big cases. So I assume these cases are being mass produced a little bit differently, but I would not trust doing this with like a Great Roads brewing beer because I know Rob fills them to the absolute brim.
Yes, absolutely.
2.
One, go. One can done. That's 1/8 of the way through, as far as I'm concerned.
Oil
Approximately.
can Boyd.
Did you guys ever question the in the tab of a beer can or a pop can or any can why that hole is there?
In
Whoa.
on the hole in the tab?
Like that one there.
Well, I've noticed that they've started filling them in. Like it's a solid tab, but only on energy drinks.
More prominently in pop cans, you're supposed to flip it over. It's a straw holder.
Oh.
So
I see.
yeah,
Using it as one. That's right.
I've seen people
you
using
pretty
it, but
much-
I didn't know that was what it was.
so it's supposed to look like that, right? You just put the straw right in there. But mostly, I mean, who drinks beer from a straw though?
I don't think I've ever known anybody to.
My kids did. I got them drinking beer when they were 2, and they were drinking it with straws. My son was supping pints at 4. He took me for my first beer with him when he was 6.
But I guess primarily
times.
sodas, right? Or canned non-alcoholic drinks, right? Like, but it's one of those things. Like, it was there, but I mean, it was just like one of those random Facebook tidbit things I discovered. Like, did you know? And
Yeah.
when I saw it, I was like, holy shit, yeah, that's right. And I showed it to a friend of mine. They were like, wow, and they used it, and it makes perfect sense. But
Is it genuine, mate, or is it just one of these things that someone's kind of seen someone doing it and thought, oh, that's what it is, and then put it to the internet, and all of a sudden it became the actual reason, or is it just another urban nonsense that you find on Facebook, which isn't actually real?
I don't know if it's genuine or not, but
I thought it was
it makes enough sense for me to be genuine. But
Yeah.
I mean, hey, the manufacturers could be like, no, that's not what we were going for. Like, you guys.
It might purely be to save on weight also. You don't need to have all that metal. It's not weight, money. Less aluminum you need to make it, you saves money for the companies. You don't need to have it filled in.
That's trace amounts of aluminum. I would say. I don't think anyone other than American manufacturers these days are worried about that tiny amount of aluminum.
Okay, well, I'm going to do some research myself. Thanks for bringing it up, Kier.
Mm.
I'm going to follow up on
What
this.
about the
That's fair.
dental?
Yeah, I knew, right?
That's what I'm here for the revolutionary ideas.
Thank you. That's not gone unnoticed. I'm going to let you know now what Rebecca is drinking in the background.
Mm. Please do.
She is not drinking Tola Gold. Kier, I know that you quite like your IPAs. Well, you know that Ross and I really didn't get on with them as much, but we've come around in recent times, and we now, we kind of like quite a lot of them. But double IPAs, we're really all over, and Rebecca is on board with them as well. She really likes this one, the double IPA from Good Hope.
Is that the super tall can?
Yeah, no, it's not the super tall can. It's the super tall can is from. No, it's not Sober Island. It's in the fridge there for Ross.
Huh?
It's the other one. It's not the super tall can.
I've had that. Is that Good Robot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have had that one. They don't have it at the Wolfle one, but they have it at the New Minus one.
I think I've seen
And
it
I've
there,
gotten
yeah.
a few times.
Mm-hmm.
See,
It's good though.
They know me at both liquor stores, so they're always like, "What?" When I come in, like, if there's like a new IPA, they're like, "Hey, here, check this one out," right? Like,
Okay.
I think we've made it through most of the staples at the Nova Scotia Liquor Commission. Oh, that is a super tall one. What is going on here?
That's what you're referring to, Kier, and it's Burnside that do it. So it's good.
okay,
It's great words. Hoppy Place.
Yeah.
What it's called. Happy Place.
I've had that one a couple times. It's actually pretty good. Like, I don't mind a little bit of citrus in my IPA because it kind of breaks that dryness a little bit, but I don't like to drink too many fruity flavored because it's just a little bit more sugar, gives you a little bit more of a headache if you drink. So I try to base it a little bit more.
It's
But
the
usually
haze.
if on a night of drinking, that'll be my like first couple drinks to have, right? Like, so I can actually appreciate the flavor, the taste of it. You know what I mean? Like,
It's the juicy, stuff that we've gone on. In fact, it is the fruity stuff. That it would be the ones that are squashy and pineapple-y and grapefruity now that we're kind of leaning towards. But with the double IPAs, of course, there's that more of a malty balance to it rather than just having a bunch of hops thrown at you that kind of just blow your head off a little bit. They're far smoother when we're finding out that with the double IPAs, and that might just be because they've doubled the malt as well, and it just makes it for a kind of richer, smoother taste rather than just a hop head's delight.
it blends well together.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, when there's not too much of that flavor, that you really come into your own. They really come into their own with that.
Well,
So
we were very surprised the first time we tried a double IPA, and we said, "Wait a minute! I just felt that this was going to be twice as much of an over hopped experience," and they smooth out.
Big time.
And then you get to a triple IPA, and you basically feel like you're just drinking a glass. What buddy of mine had a triple IPA, and he said this tastes like a screwdriver. It just tastes like vodka and orange juice.
Wow. We've still got the Longest Night that I got from North Brewing. God knows how long ago.
Yep.
That must be at least 2 years ago I picked that up. So that's still sitting in there. I think we've got another triple.
Yeah,
Ross,
but it's like 11%, so I don't think it's going bad. It's keeping itself very well.
Propeller,
that's right.
like, I know I drink Facts, but I prefer IPAs, right? Because Facts are just like.
What does Facts taste like? Is that just like a malt liquor kind of thing, or?
It's funny, boys.
I don't know how to describe Facts. I can describe IPAs better. Facts is just like the Mad Max of beer. You
It
know what I mean?
reminds
Like,
me. I feel like flavor-wise, it reminds me of like where you just get this is a strong ale, and it mostly just tastes like booze. It's just a very boozy, like a heavy
well,
a heavy Scotch ale. They do sometimes.
yeah, it has a Viking's face on the front, so that tells you everything, right? Like, but
Fact, does it?
This tastes of
Propeller,
goat horns and mustache.
but it was like they're super cheap, right? Like Colt 45s. Like, if I don't know
Yeah,
if Colt 45s are a thing anymore, but
I think you can
they
still
are.
get 'em.
a couple years ago, I don't know if it's still a thing, but a couple of years ago, Propeller put out the Leviathan,
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful.
which was a 10% IPA, and I got that a couple times. Like, it was way better than Facts because it tasted
Mhm.
way better than Facts,
Mm-hmm.
We had that.
but it was
Yeah.
more expensive than Facts. But still, if you want
Taste-
strong IPA, and it had a good name, Leviathan, right? Like,
Oh, where's Fax from again, Kier? Is it Danish or is it? Am I imagining that?
I think it's definitely Eastern European, I would say.
Oh, Eastern European, not Northern European. Okay.
I don't know. I just been buying it for years and never really questioned where it came from.
It
Just
says
as long as it didn't,
it says
just
country
as long as it
Canada.
didn't come from the States, right? Like, I
Is
like
it
Canadian. I
Canada?
like a lot of Canadian beer. Like, I like a lot of our Canadian local breweries that we've tried on the show.
Ah,
And I also like Facts. I've just been drinking it since my 20s.
Fax Brewery is Danish brewery.
Danish.
Danish, okay.
Located. Now here's your question on how well you know your Danish towns.
I'm gonna fail this one.
Which Danish town is Fax Brewery located in?
Well, I only know Copenhagen, but I was in Viborg for a little while. It's not Viborg, is it? Because that's a base that I visited while I was in the Air Force. No, that's the only other place I would know.
It is located in the town of Fax.
Oh, perfect.
I'm
Fax
glad
Brewery.
I know that now.
Founded in
I can tell people at
1901.
work.
Best known for its strong export beers.
Yes.
So, okay, a 473 of Fax 10, it says Fax Lager. 10% lager is what it's saying. So a 473 of that is $4.98.
Yes.
So, quick
A
math.
little cheaper now with a tax cut right now.
Four. Okay, I need some. There we go. Notepad. I've got notepad and calculator up. We're getting serious.
Did you ask some math question there? Because if you ask some math questions, best you do it now, around about the sort of 25 or 30, rather than after 80 of these.
80.
Yeah, I'm not good with fractions.
Yeah. Because Ross he's tried to do this in the past, Keir, where he's tried to figure out the strength of the beer to money wise. Is it cheaper to get stronger beer for the money, or to get more of the weaker beer, less percentage, but it's cheap? You tried to do something like this, didn't you, Ross, in the past? When we've kind of when we've tried to figure out, is it really worth paying that much more?
And that's what I'm trying to do here, but I'm definitely getting my numbers wrong. Oh wait, hang on. So 473 times 0.1 is, so there's 47.3 milliliters of alcohol in a can of Fax, in theory.
Doing math. Better than meth,
So
I suppose.
47.3.
Have you seen Ross's
That's why.
his meth lab? No, not his meth lab. His very impressive his very impressive beard, which is now coming along leaps and bounds.
It's getting slightly longer. The problem is the color. I
Yes.
need to figure out what to do with it, but I think I just need to dye the whole thing white. Basically, I'm in a play and I'm the oldest I'm supposed to be the oldest person on the stage. I'm like the old guy on an old town council, and I've been there for 39 years.
Yes.
So much to my wife's chagrin, I am trying to look incredibly old for the next couple of months, which is bad. I should be able to do the math on this. Why can't I math? Oh man, I'm too stressed to math right now.
I'm at the point at 37. I'm starting to find the white hairs in my beard and
37. Whew.
Yeah.
I think I had him at like 32, or probably even 28 for that matter.
I think I clung on to somewhat longer than you did, Ross, but about Kier's age, late 30s, I started to get some grey.
Okay, let me show you this. That happened in my early 20s. All of this up here, that went away. That's been
shit.
That's been smooth as an android's bottom since mid 20s.
I'm glad this is actually
there's a lot of hair on both sides of my family, so
yeah, I was thinking about that the other day because I was driving past. I was going through Centerville and I passed a concrete house, and I know your dad does stuff at the concrete house, and I was thinking about your dad and I wasn't like estimating or guessing his age, but he's got a luxuriously thick mustache and luxuriously thick hair as well. I mean, it's gray.
He's always looked like that.
He's got the silver mane and whatnot, but the thickness of it is crazy. Have you ever grown your hair long here?
Oh yeah, I like I said, early 20s, I had hair down to my shoulder blades.
All right.
I used to rock the long hair a lot. It's just also my hair grows really thick, but it grows too thick that I gotta pretty much keep it short. Like it might get a little bit shaggy, but it's so thick that it just kind of bunches up now. Like when I have shaggy hair, I look like I'm putting on this like grotesque comb over.
So you don't think that I think you could dress up as Hagrid one year. That'd be a good time.
But like, so I just got my hair cut on Saturday because it's easier to keep it short for me now. But I used to grow my hair long all the time, and I'd grow my during COVID when I was out of work, I grew my hair really long and grew my beard really long, so I looked like a fucking mountain man. But I don't really do that anymore. I've been tempted to growing the beard out though. Like, go for the wizard beard.
My good friend John, who's on the show sometimes, his beard is down to about like here-ish. So he's got some good Gandalfian beard going on. I've never actually for a time. Oh, you would have hated me in 1999. I moved to Ottawa. I was there for about 8 months, and I kept everything smooth. My hair was just buzzed. It was about this short, but it wasn't quite as thin up on top. And I had everything else. I had everything shaved except I had just the chin beard, and I was letting it go long, and it was down to about it was a couple inches long, I think. So I just had the chin fro and nothing else. I have experimented with soul patch. I have done things before, and people always say, "How come your facial hair is always different?" And I have to respond with, I have no options up here. None. Everything's gone. I can either do comb over or not comb over. So I get to mess with my facial hair. And I like it.
Well, it's like, Joe Caldwell, who started Voodoo Charmers, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's rocked the soul patch forever.
Yeah, he still rocks it. Like, and he still pulls it off. Like,
He-
I have also rocked the chin beard where it's just like no mustache, just like the I
the
believe-
strap, the chin strap.
not the chin strap. It was just my on my chin, like the guitar player from Anthrax, right?
Okay, yeah.
Scott Ian. And I think when I was doing that, you were growing a weird beard, and you even made a Facebook comment like, if you combined your facial hair with my facial hair, it looked fucking weird. Because it was
not
like
having a mustache.
everything was shaved except for the chin, and it just grew long, right? Like,
Yeah.
I was going for a heavy metal look.
And I feel like you should absolutely do that. You get some rockin' heavy metal looks in there. Did I miss a
30 shots done. We've done 30 shots. I was just saying there. I think. Do you ever do that? I don't know if you were talking about that. I kind of zoned in and out. If you take the moustache off, and do the beard thing, you do the Amish thing.
I
You know
did
what
that
I mean? So you've done that?
and I dyed
That's
it
what you were
I
saying.
dyed
That
it
was-
blue.
And that's
Dyed it
the
blue.
era I'm referring to.
Wow.
Did
And in
Ross
fact,
do that?
when the blue it started to wear off, and it was like this kind of hospital periwinkle green for a little while. I'll show you some of my favorite pics of it. It's good. Are we?
What was that for a? Oh, hello. You're doing it by yourselves.
Here, dude.
Oh.
I felt like
I
it.
saw Ross doing it, and
You
I
just
thought
got
that was
thirsty.
fine.
I felt like it had been a minute. Sorry.
I saw Ross doing it, and I was like, "Oh, it's been a minute."
I don't know where
I
we're
just-
at.
I'll be I'll
They
be
forgot
right
where
back.
they were for a minute. They forgot they were doing this by the minute. It was like, I'm thirsty. I'm just going to have a
Penalty!
penalty.
We haven't had near enough beer was the problem, I think. Look it out
Just
in
not
front of
taking
me here.
fast. Was that for a production again, Ross, that you had to dye your beard blue?
Define had to.
You chose to.
Correct.
Okay.
It was a
Rebecca,
dinner theater. It was an Edeline production. In fact, it was a dinner theater that was written by Carrie Lear, and we were all playing Greek gods. Jamie was in it. He was.
as you do.
Oh my God, what was Jamie? I can't remember what everyone was. Simon.
Poseidon.
I was Poseidon. That's why I dyed it blue.
Ew.
And-
so when?
Oh no, Kier's
Yes.
gonna miss one.
Pretty sure he'll catch up.
It's possible. So the only other thing that was my favorite part about that show was as Poseidon. So they got me this little plastic crown. We were wearing these like skimpy, tennis shorts, and I had kind of this this very luxurious. It was like a satin blue sash, and I had my beard was dyed blue, and I had a crown on. And
Is that what Greek gods did? Is that how they dressed?
I
tennis
was
players?
shiny. I looked real spiffy. We did have one
Yeah.
while you were gone here. But my favorite thing was in my crown, and one of the cast had brought some candy at one point, and there were these like gummy worms in them, and I said, wouldn't it be kind of funny if I just held candy and it was just up in the crown, and just every now and then when I was talking to people, because it's dinner theater, you go out and you serve people, and they all want to have I want to talk to you, and I was like, oh yes, hello, how are you? I am the god of land and the sea and whatnot, but. The best part was as I did that and someone was
Sorry,
having
I
a
missed
conversation, I would just casually reach up and grab some fish candy from my crown and just eat it and go, "Mwah, mwah, mwah." That's very interesting what you're saying there.
It's candy.
Oh, crap.
Of the Swedish variety, I'm guessing.
Of the Swedish variety.
I'm guessing.
I think they were blue whales.
Oh, yeah.
Did you mean score? Score.
Swedish.
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 I'm.
Not the Danish. Not from the Danish town of Fax.
Oh, are they Danish? Are they? I beg your pardon. I'm doing what I planned to do at the beginning of this. I've had, by the way, layering your stomach for 8 cans of beer in an hour and 40 minutes. What did you do? Because I had pasta with meatballs. I thought carbs would be a decent idea under the circumstances. But now, just a dry croissant, just to mop up
A one.
one. Oh, there we go. Mop up what we've had already.
I'm trying to mainline the
This is a
water.
science. Mm.
Yeah,
It's
I
definitely
got a
science.
bottle. I got a bottle of water here with me too. But
Okay.
bread soaks up a lot of alcohol too, though.
Big time, big time. I think it's a good idea to have a couple of slices of bread during this evening's imbibance. Personally,
Oh, what's going on here?
water's a great idea, Keir. But I think there's plenty of water in the beer, so I'm going to go with that. I think there's lots of water there.
You're just gonna give up on the water thing?
I think there's plenty of water in the
No
beer.
more liquid.
No, otherwise I'll be going to the toilet even more than necessary. What have we got there?
You dirty
Stop.
chundering Neanderthals.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I don't know. That sounded like Ross was going into Rabbi Burns territory all of a sudden. I
Oh,
thought he
not
was
yet.
like-
Oh, I missed Robbie Burns night, didn't I? We
don't know.
missed it.
Yeah.
I was trying to have a thing on January
Mhm,
January
mhm,
25th, and I feel like there just weren't what a lot going on.
I believe that was the night of my we start on the 24th, so the 25th would have been the double show of Rock of Ages. There was no opportunity for me doing that, that's for sure.
That was a good show. Rock of Ages was very good. I'm hoping that you're quite proud of yourself for that, because it was excellent.
That was fun.
I apologize. I completely missed it. I kind of found out about it like too late, but I've heard Rock of
Apologies
Ages
needed,
is like.
There's no apologies needed anywhere. We're very busy.
I mean, he's never come to our show, so it's balanced.
I was about to say, we're all. Oh, there we go, another one.
Oh.
We're all very busy people, and we have our own.
Yeah.
Oh,
If we
agendas.
get around, then we
Speak-
do. But we also have lives that we lead outside of theatre and music, do we not, Kieran Ross? Therefore, we do what we can when we can.
we've had this conversation. I went to a Christmas celebration. We had our Christmas thing for work, and they said, okay, we're all coming in at 2 p.m. and we're gonna have turkey dinner. This was last December, about maybe the 15th or something like that. So all right, fine. And we all went in. We're all there, and I've known everybody for like 10, 15 years. We know everybody. I was the young guy for a very short period of time, but there's a lot of young new hires and the temporary workers and whatnot. And I was talking to them, and they were finally there. They hadn't been in the previous Christmas. And I said, oh, you're finally here. You guys were finally allowed to come out. And they said, oh no, we're allowed to come out every year. We just didn't last year because we had other friends with other Christmas parties going on. And I went, oh, what's, wonder what that's like. And they got all uppity saying, well, this is what it's like when you have friends. And I said, listen, I have lots of friends. But the problem is I invite my friends to things, and everyone says, ooh, can't that night. I've got a thing. I've got a gig. I've got a something. I've got 12 other, and we're all floating and juggling like 900 things at once that there's no way you can get your friends out anymore. We don't have social things because we're too busy.
If you were in
Also,
where nothing ever
sorry,
happened.
go on, Ian.
Sorry, man. I was just saying that
go.
if you were in a place where there was very little happening, and you were all just do, and you all got together and did one thing once a month or whatever, you could make it like a date night, but you can't. Wolfville and the surrounding areas are so full of things happening all the time. Plus your own life that you have, which does not revolve around theatre and music.
These young students, they have a part-time-ish job on campus, and they're like, their world is Wolfville. What are you doing tonight? Well, I'm either staying in my room or I'm going to the pub. Boom!
Yeah.
That's it. That's life. And yet we're getting stuff like, hey, man, I got a show on Thursday. It's at Horton Ridge. And that same night, I got another friend saying, hey, man, my show's in Kentville. I'm like, damn it, I've got a car. I could be at both of those things. I could be at either of those things. I need to choose. And then someone says, oh, I got a CD release party. It's going on out there in Windsor. And damn it, what the hell? Someone says, hey, you haven't come to our thing in a while on the Saturday night. There's so much.
You also have to think, can I afford it all? Because you also have money that's involved with it. Going out and getting a few beers.
Like, things things are expensive.
I gave up
And
on having money.
I've also noticed, like,
Yeah.
sorry, I saw Ian putting something towards him. Oh, okay, now we're
Mhm.
good to go.
Was
So-
the false alarm.
I'm like, for me, it's like I'm still living the good single life at 37, so I don't have a wife or kids or anything. And I've noticed that, like, hey man, you want to come out to our show tonight? It's like, oh, I gotta stay home with the kids because they have responsibilities, right? Like you, Ross, like you can't always go out because you got to look after your kid, right? Like completely understandable, and you know what I mean, like completely
Can't possibly have a
responsible too.
100 shots of beer challenge. That's just totally irresponsible. I hear you.
But you know what I mean? Like when someone says that, it's like, oh yeah, no, completely. It's just like a common invite, right? But I've also noticed, like, yeah, like people have shit on the go. Like there's so much going on amongst our still growing circle of friends, right? Like because everyone's trying to do something awesome, right? Like
Excuse me.
There's 40 shots, boys.
Oh, we're 4/10 of the way there.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Sorry
nice.
to interrupt. You were saying?
No, but you know what I mean? Like everyone's got something going on, right? Like all our I feel like, you know, Ross, when did I meet you? Like over 10 years ago?
At least.
We met, so I don't know the day we exactly met, but it was one of those things where we would be sitting at the same table at Patty's on an open mic, right?
Out
Just
on the same
through
night.
a friend
And
of a
you meet people that are just there often.
I think one of our first conversations was renaming the Great Lakes, right? Like
What?
which you brought up, like what if what if Lake Superior wasn't called Lake Superior, like it was called something else, like on the opposite end of the spectrum? You're like, and I was like, what if we called it Lake Mittens or something, like Superior, and then Mittens is like the opposite end of the spectrum, and then like you and me were just coming up with different ways to name the Great Lakes. Like I think that was our first conversation. I think that's where we hit it off. Like
I'm pretty
That
sure I know
sounds
what
like-
happened.
as well as the Tan Open Mic as well, when you used to host the Tan Open Mic.
Yeah,
Like
I'm pretty sure I know what happened. I met you at some point middling through my phase where I decided meeting new people sucked, and I needed to immediately filter meeting new people, where you had the, oh, am I going to meet this person? Are they just going to be really boring, or are they going to be kind of interesting? So you have to immediately ask someone a really out to left field question
yeah.
and see what
Good
they
tactic.
do. If they lean in and say, I'd like to talk about that, you're like, you're cool. We're going to hang out. I like this person. But if they sort of stand there and say, like, this happened to me so often in high school. Not that I want to drag everything back to high school, but in high school it happened where I'd say something and I'd ask a question and I'd be like, "Hey, what if giraffes had 6 legs instead of 4?" And there'd always be, I'd be surrounded by 5 or 6 people saying, "You're weird," and I'd sit there and I'd go, "Oh, guess I'm weird."
I guess I could relate, because in high school and junior high, like I had a pretty good group of friends, right? Like but we would just talk shit about each other, hanging out at someone's place over the weekend, playing PS2, Twisted Metal, and talking shit to each other, playing multiplayer, like before it was a big thing online, right?
Mm.
And we try to make each other laugh. Like,
Oh, damn.
Damn.
you know what I mean? Like poke fun at each other. And, I usually have a pretty good group of friends that still do that together. Like, it's all about who you hang out with, like, just like who you connect with, right? Like, you can just shoot the shit with them and fucking not have to think about socially, like being on social guard, right? Like you can just fucking be yourself around this person,
Yeah.
around this group.
And I did find those people, mostly by accident, but also entirely on purpose. But I found them, and the best part of it was that I slowly learned the best way to filter that out. Because especially when you have kids and you start having to meet people when you drop everyone off at like daycare and school and sports. Oh, talking to other hockey dads, I'm fairly certain this is my hell. What
Are you a hockey
if
dad?
I get sent to hell, it's going to be standing at the side of a cold, damp rink where you're just, oh, I should have worn the thermals, and then two other dads come up to you, and one starts talking about the new truck he's bought, and the other one starts talking about his new heat pump. That's hell. 100%.
It's like one time last year, I kind of like went on this date with a girl in way out in this other fucking town. Like I don't want to be too specific, but I met her in a super. Like she said, "Oh, meet me at the superstore in this town, right?" And for like 30 minutes, I was just like hanging out with her while she was doing her shopping.
I mean, shopping can be
And
fun with the right person.
But it just was one of those things. Like I'm in a town that I'm not normally in, talking to this person that I do not connect with while she's buying groceries. Like
Here.
there was no connection with. So
Which I want to know everything. Which grocery store was it? This is very important.
Why do you want
Sorry,
to know
what
everything?
was the question?
Which
What was
grocery
the
store?
question?
Tells you a lot about
Super,
her.
it was a superstore.
Ah,
You know, Atlantic Super.
Minus.
Oh, she's a classy girl. You went to Superstore.
I know.
Was
I know.
that-
Because
was that one? Was that water? Who
Who
was
was
having?
league the devil? Apparently, that's how these things go these days. You got to be careful. Wait, I don't give a toss where I shop, by the way, but there are stigma involved with shopping in certain stores these days, as you well know. And if you say you go to the wrong store where it doesn't sell local produce by local people, then you can be outcast. You can be cast down in the pits of hell.
You could be cast out as an outcast,
Absolutely.
like
Big
all
time.
at once.
Are we 50?
But it was
Are we...
like,
No?
but going back
What?
to what Ross said, like I kind of went out of my way to like meet this person and like, you know, decently nice person, but just no connection. But kind of keeping it localized, you know, you meet these people like, you know, like Ross was saying, like I'm gonna ask this obscure question, and are you gonna lean into it, like, and you create those connections. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
It was a time saver. It was a huge time saver. And now, again, much to my wife's chagrin, I am completely surrounded by batshit weirdos that love to talk about awkward, crazy, irrelevant crap.
Hey man, the guys that know all about heat pumps are you want to keep them close by.
Oh, yeah.
Those are your buddies.
I
Keep your
mean-
heat pump. Keep your enemies close. Your friends close and your enemies closer. And your heat pump guys even closer.
No, they're so boring.
Oh.
It's so incredibly boring.
Here, before the evening's out, I just want you to reach back and at random and just take one of your CDs out of the, without even looking, and presenting it to the screen. Because
I did purposely pick the DVD wall as my background, so you didn't
It's
see like my
DVD.
dirty clothes and the back. So you want me to just like reach
you.
out, like pick it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was
Okay.
CD.
I'm still looking at the camera. See, I'm still making eye contact, and I picked out Predator.
Predator.
the-
Wow, 80s.
Original
87.
Predator. To this,
Double disc collect. I got a lot of collector editions.
Yeah.
So it's the Arnold Schwarzenegger. Also, I do got to look back when I put it back because I got to alphabetical.
Alphabetical.
Right.
You know the alkalists?
Have you ever
Sorry,
been?
alphabeticalize. Sorry, like from A to Z.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever find yourself thinking that they don't look aesthetically pleasing? Alphabetized is awesome. However, have you ever looked at it and done that thing where you thought, "Oh, I want to do it chromely. I want to do it colorly. Therefore, start with the reds, go through the yellows and the greens and the purples, etc., so that it looks like a piece of art on your wall rather than just a mishmash of color in alphabetical order."
No, because usually if I'm drunk on a weekend night, I don't want to put on a movie that's too complicated. I want to put on a nice action movie, and I know all the movies, so alphabetical is just easy for me to find that movie. Like, you know what I mean? It's just easier for me to work it, like find the movie that way. Because when I first had this movie shelf, it wasn't in any order, and it was hard to find any movie, keep track of what movie I had. And
Yeah.
I like a little. Contrary to popular belief, I like a little bit of order with my personal life. When it comes to like,
Rebecca just said, "Let's have another trivia question then." Movie trivia.
Oh,
Oh.
dear.
okay, I'll pull one out. I'll pull one out right off the deck. In Stanley Kubrick's 1980 psychological horror, The Shining, what was the name of the hotel resort? This
The
one I
Overlook.
would have gotten.
That's an overlook. That's an easy one.
You're right. Yeah, I was going to go with like the hillside, but you are quite correct.
The Overlook is correct. The Overlook is
Ian's
correct.
got it.
You got it.
Hey, Keir, I don't know if you missed that little sneaky beer that we had while you were asking that question, but you might want to catch up. Did you have one? Did you?
Might have been sneaky. Maybe
Didn't.
been a bit sneaky.
That was 50. We're halfway there. We are halfway there, and
Nice.
it's minutes after 9.
I'm still feeling good too.
I feel okay.
We
I
did
feel
start
okay.
a little late.
But this time, last time, because of course you were drinking like 1.3 ounces.
Oh, I was
think.
filling things to the brim, and yeah.
You were filling things up.
It was the same
a
percentage.
schoolboy era.
I decided to go with the same percentage, just to I don't know.
There we go, and again.
What do you mean, and again? We just had
A
one.
minute goes by fast, man.
I feel like there were
Right, so-
3-minute bouts there where we didn't have one.
Hey, it's your idea.
This is your idea. That's what Rebecca says. It's your idea. Hey, man, it's your idea.
It's true.
So if you mess up, it's your... Oh, no, I want to keep them on that side so I know where I am.
Oh, yeah.
This is very scientific.
Oh, I just picked another movie trivia question. I think this one might be a little bit more difficult, but it's still of a classic movie.
I feel like we might be
An
better at the
Americana
difficult
movie.
ones than the easy ones. Oh, Keir, you need to come to Port Williams Trivia Night with us. You can round out our team. How many
if it's
are we
if
allowed?
it's movie or TV, I'm pretty good. Like, there used to be an app called Quizit, where it was just movie
Boys.
trivia,
Jesus.
and I fucking nailed it.
I can't pour fast enough.
We came in 7th.
Did we come in 7th?
We
last
were
time?
middle of the pack on our first night on an underpowered team. I think we did okay.
We did.
Besides, we're apparently going up against like the most academic, overpowered team ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Those
They win every time.
no funners. They should split themselves into 2 teams instead of 2 tables and then like fight each other.
Did
Absolutely.
you go the last time, Ross, or not?
No, the
Was
last
Tom?
time we went was the time with you, so
Oh, okay.
I don't believe there's been another one since, but I don't know. It's been a long,
Hey.
cold, lonely winter. Copyright.
Yeah,
whoever-
yep.
Who said that? It's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Is that Beatles or Counting Crows?
Oh,
Little darling,
What,
it's
the
been a
killer?
long, cold, lonely winter. There we go. It's Beatles. Okay. Counting Crows
Yeah.
is Long December, and there's reason to believe maybe this year will be better than the last.
yeah, that wasn't McCartney. That was Dorrit's. That doesn't sound very McCartney-ish.
It wasn't McCartney, it was George Harrison.
Was it Harrison?
Yeah.
It was Harrison.
All right.
She knows the
Here's
Beatles.
here's like the mid-level trivia question.
Mm?
In the classic biker movie Easy Rider,
Oh,
where
God.
did Wyatt and Billy hide their drugs?
I have one answer
Where's-
to every question about that movie. It was boring.
I've never seen it.
It
That's what-
sucked.
Discussed this only a
I
couple of
don't
weeks
know.
ago. It came out.
It's a road trip movie. It's an Americana movie. But where did they hide their drugs? In the motorcycle.
As soon as someone says the word Americana, this is another good way to filter people out. Assume they are boring. The concept of Americana is boredom incarnate.
Can I guess? Can I guess at it, Kira? I've never seen the movie. Where, if I'm just trying to think, if I had,
you
I assume
can
they all
guess
had
'cause
heart.
it's clear that Ross is not going to make an answer.
No, God, no.
But
No.
go right ahead, Ian.
I've seen the movie,
Right, I'm
and I don't care.
They all had Harleys, as far as I know. I'm guessing they
It's Dennis
maybe
Hopper.
in their
Dennis
tires.
Hopper and
Jack Nicholson and Peter Fonda. I know who's in it.
Yeah. yeah. So you're
in
gonna make a guess?
the tires. Did they?
In the
Did they?
tires?
Yeah.
No, they hit it in the gas tanks.
Oh, that's too obvious. The gas tank would have been
How is
obvious.
that obvious? I'm not checking your gas tank if I pull you over as the highway patrol.
It's one of those things like it's not one of my favorite movies. I watched it once. It's an old movie,
Here.
but I did it did have a cultural impact though.
It did,
Right.
and for a while I was trying to go through some movies that were like, you know, the Oscar winners from the 70s and 80s, and I watched
Yeah.
Chinatown, and I watched Easy Rider, and I watched Midnight Cowboy, and I hated all three. They all sucked.
Oh, Midnight Cowboy. Do you know what? Over here right now, in this little DVD collection
You
we've got.
don't
kind of over-
own Midnight Cowboy.
Oh, I do
Sell
own
it
Midnight
right
Cowboy,
now.
And One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest we watched again about 2 weeks ago. It's a thing of beauty. It's wonderful.
I
Those
didn't watch that
early
one.
70s. I know Midnight Cowboy was 69, but oh shit, we've got another one coming up. But they were so much better than
I don't know.
some of the shit that gets passed these days as great movies. Because they were iconic and they were genre defining. And nowadays, all you got to do is have a really good CGI effects, and all of a sudden it wins Best Picture. You're like, no, but there's nothing. It's so.
Okay, there
it's
was
so
a brief moment where Lord of the Rings, and you know, it was like, oh, we've never seen this on the screen before. You deserve 13 Academy Awards. Here you go, pass them out. There was a few years where that was, yes, they were guilty of that. But going all the way back, movies that were just sort of, oh, this makes me think about how difficult it is to be homeless. Oh my goodness. Now, Philadelphia was a good movie. It was a good thinker. It really it brought a lot of subjects to the surface. But did Midnight
What?
Cowboy? No.
It's like
No,
that in the early 2000s, that movie that won the Best Picture, Crash, with Brendan Fraser, and
It's
it dealt
fantastic.
with like
That's not the one about the people who have sex in car crashes, right?
No,
right,
no,
no,
That's
not
the
what he
other
called it.
crash.
That's a David Cronenberg movie.
Yeah.
This one won the Oscar, where it was like it dealt with like racism on different levels, but dealt with like a racist cop or You know what I mean? Like, and
Mm,
it won the Oscar, but a lot of people were like, "Why did this win the Oscar?" Like, I think it beat out
because you
Goodfellas or
can't
something.
Oscar snub
Did
racism.
not.
You
Did not.
can't.
It did not. Crash is a superb commentary on a social commentary on the way we think about. Hang on.
Wait, which Crash though?
Oh no, the one that won the Oscar for Best Picture,
I've
mate.
never
It's a
seen
fab.
either, so you do need to, yeah.
It's a
I've seen both, and they're both very. They have the same name, but they're both very different fucking movies. Like, like, like
Hooray!
one is about like like what was it? Matt Dillon is a racist cop, but he also he's
it's about that. It's the
serving his
fact that
father.
we all have an element of racism within us because we all have stereotypical ideas about things. Yes, we do.
No,
And even throughout any culture in the world has an idea about other cultures, and that's the way what it plays on. It's the fact that it recognizes that and makes it into an extremely watchable and at times very difficult movie to watch, but it's so good.
I have.
It is. I watched it. I watched that Crash at a young age, and it was like I was understanding that it's different forms and different levels of racism happening in different aspects of society. And then when I watched David Cronenberg's Crash, it was people having sex during car crashes, which was a completely different movie. And
Slightly different vibe.
Yeah.
it was like it had nothing to do with racism. It was just like it was just supposed to be fucked up.
I've watched a lot of movies that are supposed to make you think about racism and feel about racism. And Ian, we've been out to the Roofhound open comedy night, open mic night thing. Kira, I got to drag you out to this one at one night as well. But I've been working on I've been working on a bit that I think about all the time, and that is my particular upbringing in a very small
That's 60
white
shots, boy.
white centric fishing village on the South Shore in St. Margaret's Bay. And my particular levels of racism, I decide and pretend I am not racist, but my experience with racism was when I was a kid, I would watch TV, and everything was on TV, and there were no black people in my community until there was. And I was like 9 years old when a black family moved to my community, and I'd only ever seen them on TV. I watched The Cosby Show. I thought it was great. So my racism is really weird because I was starstruck. And I was like, oh my God, a black family's here. and my mind went, what do I do? And to this day, I don't know what to do because I grew up in a very white-centric part of like the whitest part of North America. We didn't have this multi-ethnicity, this diversity that we do delightfully now. So I grew, and I was surprised and shocked, and I was told on a bunch of things on TV, well, you can't be racist. And I'm like, well, how do I do that? So to this day, when I come across someone, or I am in the same situation, or do I hold open a door? There's a black guy coming this way. Quick, act normal. And I absolutely 100% freak out because I know that I'm not. So I'm the weirdest kind of racist there is. I have to be. I'm the weirdest Nova Scotian small town racist because having never come across. I mean, I've interacted with people, but my mind is constantly abuzz with don't act racist. Whatever you do, don't say anything. Don't be racist to this person. You can't possibly be racist. And the worst part is I'm learning is that over the top defensiveness, how to act, what you're everything, that is my particular slice of racism. Because I don't know how to just be a normal person dealing with another human being on this planet. I don't know how. I don't know how to do it. Like, you ever watch? There's an excellent movie, Night at the Roxbury, when the topless girl gets out of the pool, and she says, "Could you hand me that towel?" And they're both staring at her, and they say, "Good. How are you?" I'm those guys. I'm like, quick, act normal, be as normal as you could be, and don't pretend like you're not racist. I'm on quadruple to triple negatives at this point.
Well, one, I would never really consider you racist because you've always been very open with everyone around you, right? Like, I guess it just comes from background. Like, elementary school, I went to a mountain school, right? Like, it was a mountain boy school, Gasbro school, right? Like, so it was like a lot of like hunting families, ATVs.
I showed up on the dirt
and
bike
I
this
was one of
morning.
them. Yeah, but like with my family background, like
Ross?
Oh,
I
I'm busy pouring.
you know, I kind of grew up being taught that like everyone's equal, right? But there's a kind of a social injustice that still happens today, and so I feel very fortunate growing up in a family background in that sense, right? Like, and just knowing a lot of people from a lot of different communities, right? Like, just again, like, just going back to people you hang out with, right? Like, have different backgrounds and fucking joking around and making each other laugh. Like, that's how I kind of always perceived it. Like, I'm not trying to, like, white knight it here, but just trying to be genuine. But that's just kind of how I always perceived it. And but hey, everyone's got a different background, right? And you were saying, like, you know, like, oh, this person coming up, just act cool, right? Like,
It was just ingrained. Whatever you do, don't be racist. And
yeah,
so it was very, very at the front of my brain. Whatever you do, don't be racist. Okay, so how do you act normal? Do I hold this door open for someone because that's what I do for anyone? Or am I holding this door open because I'm saying, hey, I'm definitely not racist. Here is a door for you to walk through.
Ross, I don't know if you've seen that movie. Oh, by the way, I'll talk after the 6 seconds that's remaining in this one, and then expand it. 3, 2, 1, go. And that is exactly what this movie does. It asks you to think about your actions. There is a brilliant part in the movie where Sandra Bullock and Brendan Fraser are crossing the road to avoid two black men walking down the road on the same side of the road as they are.
Okay.
And immediately then, because it feeds into that, if we cross the road, then it makes us look racist. If we don't cross the road, then we might be inviting some kind of episode that we don't want to get into. And on the other side, the black guys walking down the road say exactly the same thing. Did you see those two white, affluent people cross the road to avoid us? And he said, why do you think they do that? And it feeds into that stereotype because one of them says, because we got guns. And then they proceed to hold up the two white guys, the affluent people, and it feeds into that whole stereotype. It's a fantastic movie.
I have been in this situation.
It's a movie I should watch again.
this is the thing. I have been in a situation where I'm walking down a street and I think, oh crap, if I cross now, I will get ahead of that. Oh shit, I missed a.
Yes.
I'll get ahead of that green light because the green light's coming the other way. So if I cross now, that means I'm not holding anybody up at that thing. So I start to cross the street, and then as I'm crossing the street, I notice that there's a black guy coming down the sidewalk towards me, and I'm thinking to myself,
Yep.
oh shit. If I cross the street now, I look totally racist, but that was not my motivation for crossing the street. And now I am so far deep into my brain wondering about every single little motivation that
It's like
only-
when you go to
it's that
sleep.
movie
It's when
only-
you go to sleep at night. Sorry, and it's like when
No,
you go to sleep at
because
night,
it's
you're thinking about it.
All it does is it just recognizes that, and it feeds into it, and it just makes you look at yourself and this stereotypical it just makes you more aware of your own classic reactions to certain situations.
yeah.
And not just from the white person, but from the Asian and the black and the First Nations, all of them. It's this melting pot in a city. Is it LA? I forget where it is now, but it's a melting pot of cultural and interracial, and it's really interesting, and it's a fabulous movie. And I know why it was best movie that year, because it really was fucking brilliant. I loved it.
Probably
Watch it
a
over and over.
lot of
I'll say
melting
this,
pots.
I watched it once as a teenager, right? And it still had an impact with me. Like I grew up as a movie kid, and I liked a lot of sci-fi, action, horror. I
I'm
really
taking a quick
grew up watching a lot
pee
of.
break, but I'll be right back. Within a
Yeah.
minute, hopefully.
But going back, but like even at a young age, like I've only watched Crash once, but I remember kind of understanding what it was about. Like, you know, Matt Dillon was a racist cop, right?
Yeah,
And,
Michael
but,
Rappaport, I think it was. And
But wasn't it
no.
like with Sandra Bullock? Sandra Bullock's character was married to Brendan Fraser, right? And
Yep.
wasn't Sandra Bullock a little bit more racist than Brendan Fraser? Like a
I
little
don't
bit
think so.
more
I think
intolerant.
it was-
It's been a very long time since I've watched the movie, so I could be incorrect. Like they could have both been very racist, but I remember. But I do remember the scene where Matt Dillon was, you know, a racist cop, but he's caring for his ailing father.
Yeah.
Not to sympathize with a racist cop, but in the end, he had to save a black woman who he was prejudiced against. But he actually tried to help her. But like I said, it's been like maybe like when it came out, like almost maybe 20 years ago since I've seen it.
Yes.
I should watch it
yes.
again. Like
That's the thing though.
it
Here.
was just trying to show different, like from what I remember, it was trying to show different aspects of
Oh,
racism.
did I miss one?
But that's the
But
thing.
it,
Neither
Oh dear.
neither the Brendan Fraser or the Sandra Bullock character were racist. They weren't.
Did I miss
They
one?
were just in a situation where he was a politician, and that's the thing about it.
that's right. That's right.
Neither of them are racist. They both agree with that everyone should be normal and equal, and we're trying to promote people. We're trying to move society on, and that was the thing that neither of them were. They were just worried that if they didn't, it's the situation that put them into a situation where they were worried that they would appear racist if they made a certain action that might.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't want to get into. I don't know
I
why
need
we're
to
doing
watch this movie
We're-
apparently because
Brilliant.
We have been talking about this movie quite a lot. Like, it's a movie I haven't seen in like almost 20 years, right? Like, I gotta really refresh. Like, I do understand it's a great movie, and it introduced me to not introduced me, but
let me segue into another movie I haven't seen in 20 years, which is along the same lines of politics and racism. Have you ever seen Bulworth?
oh,
Never heard of it.
I've never seen it, but I know it's it's Warren Beatty, right?
It's such a weird movie. You do not expect what's going on. So the premise of it is Warren Beatty is a white politician in a very black heavy zone. What's voting area, whatever. And he at a certain point at the very beginning of the movie, he just basically says, "Oh, I give up. I can't. I'm never, he's come to the end of his political aspirations and everything." And he says, "Fine. I'm just going to mouth off." So he he has this iconic line where he goes to a town hall, and it's a room full of people, and they're all complaining from a predominantly black neighborhood. And I was like, you don't represent us. Come on, what's going on? He's like a senator or a governor or something like that. And Warren Beatty, at the beginning of the movie, the first thing, he leans forward and he says, "Well, maybe if you weren't so full of malt liquor and fried chicken, we could actually get some stuff done around here." And the whole room, whoosh, there's just this record skip moment where he stops caring about the things that he says. And he just suddenly says the most racist stuff to the ethnically diverse neighborhood that he is a representative of. And this creates this whole chain reaction where by the end of the movie, suddenly Warren Beatty, governor of this location, is the guy arguing on behalf of these neighborhoods because he got so sick of never making any difference. It's a weirdly fascinating movie.
I'll have to look that up.
It does have a cultural relevance because wasn't that Holly Berry's in that movie, isn't she?
Oh, damn, she is. Yeah. I will not give away anything, but yeah.
It's one of those things like, as a movie kid, I didn't watch it as an adult, but I remember it being played by one of my older brothers.
It would have a tough impact as a kid,
Didn't Warren Beatty rap in that one?
Yeah, towards in the third act.
Warren Beatty rapped in it.
In the third act
the guy
of said movie, Warren Beatty, he's got like he dresses up all gangster, and he's supposed to be being interviewed on some TV show, but he shows up dressed like. He's breaking out with his rap single, and as they're asking him questions, he's rapping the answers back to them about how underfunded the neighborhood is.
It is a wild movie with a big commentary to it, but it is one of those underrated movies. Like, it's a movie I need to watch as an adult because I remember it being on. As a kid and just seeing these pinpoints, like him rapping it, and kind of a spoiler alert for the end too.
Oh, don't tell you.
Yeah,
he'll watch it.
Here, can you do me a favor? Can you read me another quiz question? Because we're now 3/4 of the way. We're 70. Ross, we dropped out about this and about this stage last time.
I checked. I dropped out at 68 before.
Okay.
Well, you've made the 76 now.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. This is actually a pretty good question.
Oh.
In the In the 2003 computer animated film Finding Nemo, what animal do Marlin and Dory hitch a ride with?
Are these all Disney questions?
Sea turtle.
Here.
No,
Is this a
no.
Disney?
I know
A
this.
sea turtle.
Ross?
Ian's right.
Pardon?
Ian's right.
Ian, what was your answer?
Yo, man. Righteous.
And the animal is?
It's a sea turtle.
He said.
Yes, correct.
Sea
Got it.
turtle.
I gotta rock a quick piss, so I'll be right back.
He's gonna rock a quick piss.
I-
I want to know.
I said it.
I want to see more of Kia's DVDs. He must have as many as I do, but they're probably better than mine.
Would
No,
Would
they
you
might not.
like to know the results of the non-authentic and official mathematical stats that I was taking while we were talking before?
Is anyone gonna die?
Yes, please. I would. I forgot what they were for. But
So it was
please.
for percentage of alcohol
Oh yes.
per dollar. Facts at
While you're
10%
drinking.
for $4.98 does come in the highest at 49.8 for your dollar. Second highest is the North Brewing Cinnamon Stout, the Imperial Stout, the cinnamon one that we had at Christmas time, because that one was $5.39 at 9% for 48.51.
Ross, did you do this math? All the while we've been talking and drinking beer and talking, you did some math in the background.
Yeah, and it's all over here. And
I
the
can hardly
nine
keep the buttons on my vest together, and you've been doing.
the 9 locks double
math.
dipper didn't come close at 45.6. The Revolution, the propeller Revolution was only 46. So the Fax is still your best bang for buck alcohol per dollar.
That makes sense.
And that's
However,
what I'm
this
here
is-
for.
No, but the thing is, of course, Ross, this is a Nova Scotia drink Nova Scotia dry. So Fax does not even enter into it. Maybe at the liquor store it might be.
Drink
but
Nova Scotia dry with a mild purveyance into Denmark every now and then. We could extend the
definitely.
name. It could be a thing.
I gotta
Of the
tell you
town
right
of
now,
Facts.
I am just beginning to get a bit.
I'll be honest, I didn't know that the brewery is in the town of Facts. That just made
I
everything
love
better
that
for
that's a
beer.
great trivia question for you. Do you know? Okay, I want to tell you. Here is my favorite trivia question and answer that I know of. And I love it because it answers almost every trivia question. If you lose at trivia, drop this one and you'll shut everybody up. The origin of the word trivia.
That's 80 shots, boys.
We're 4/5 of the way there. We're 80 shots.
Trivia
Nice.
can be broken up into two words, tri and via, in ancient Greek / Roman. Tri for
Yes.
3, via for road. So 3 roads converge because they hadn't invented intersections and 4-way stops back then. So it just happened to be where 3 roads converged. And when you were coming from 3 different towns or cities, that was where all the market people and the sellers would all meet, and they'd say, "Oh, are you coming from Venice? What are they buying? What are they selling? Do they like spices? Do they like cloth? What's going on in Venice right now?" And so at the Trivia, the 3-road crossing, that was where local merchants would sit and trade and shop basic information about where they were coming from. So the origin of the word trivia
Gonna have nightmares about that big.
is where they would meet.
You are the nerdiest person I've ever met.
I love that little factoid.
Without
I hope-
exception.
Let's be clear. it's cool that I was smoking a bong, right?
Oh. It's legal in Canada. You can thank Justin for that.
Did you just smoke a bong because you thought that, I don't know, 10 beers wasn't enough in an hour and a half? Here, you thought, I'm going to go smoke a bong. Can you reach behind and drag me out another DVD? Because I really want to. Go higher, go higher, go higher, go higher.
Higher, higher
there.
up is like A to B. I also gotta move closer to it. What do I got here? I'm still looking at the camera. I got
Sorry, man.
Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
Ghostbusters 2.
I liked the second one. I love Ghostbusters 2.
But this version is a collector's version. It has the animated series, the first season of the animated.
The real Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Does it include the Boogeyman episode, which is the most frightening thing on television ever created?
I don't know, but it includes Slimer.
Does it have the episode where they go to the town where the vampires are fighting the werewolves? That one was cool. That was such a great show.
I haven't watched. So when I was a kid, the Saturday morning cartoons I watched was like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the X-Men, and the real Ghostbusters, right?
Right, but the real Ghostbusters was as close as we got to occult plot lines.
With that copy, it's like, I think season 1, and there's a booklet, and it's the first 2 movies. It's with the all the other Ghostbuster movies. Like I bought Frozen Empire and Afterlife too on Blu-ray, which I think both movies are great.
What was the first one?
Like of the newest installments?
Yeah, the Paul Rudd stuff.
Afterlife.
I watched Afterlife. It was all right, but and then
you know what I liked about it? Like it was a throwback to Egon was. They showed Egon, but they never showed his face because the actor died.
Harold Ramis died. Well, no, his face was a ghost, and he was okay. I know what you mean.
But there was that showdown, but it was the showdown with the fucking goddess from the first movie, right? Zool. But I thought Afterlife. But I thought Ghostbusters Afterlife really opened up a new generation. Like it was.
If Venkman and if Zedmore had stayed on the phone and Stantz and Venkman hadn't shown up, yes. But it was that stupid thing that a particular movie-going audience is of a certain nostalgic age that you have to do the pay tribute nonsense without moving forward ever. Like, we went all the way back to the Star Wars thing. The Star Wars sequels were doing fine, and then they were all like, hey, remember Han Solo and Luke and Chewie, and here's Leia again, and here's the Emperor. And I'm like, yeah, but I've seen this. Show me something new. But they don't.
Well,
they have to say, oh, here's your favorites.
Here's the thing, like, I mean, when Disney took over, what could they do? Like, there is a little bit of, like, they kind of want to do a little bit of fan service, right? And, yes, just hear me out here. Like, yes, I do like the sequel trilogy. I don't think it's, I take it as a popcorn fun kind of sci-fi thing, right? Like, I don't hold it near to the torchlight of the OG trilogy. The OG trilogy is the best thing. Mandalorian's pretty cool.
Oh, I've never seen it.
But you know what I mean? Like, Ahsoka was pretty cool too. Like, some of the shows are pretty good, but like, the OG trilogy is everyone's favorite trilogy of Star Wars, right?
Well,
But
oh my god! All right.
But whereas Ghostbusters isn't owned by Disney, which I'm not gonna do a Disney hate. Like I know there's like that capitalist like producer like just throw money at it, try to cheapen it out, but I thought Afterlife had a good cast. Like it had Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things, like Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's good in things, right? Like uh a good connection. And I watched Frozen Empire. I own Frozen Empire on Blu-ray, and it had the OG cast more in it, but it was like a little bit more diluted. But fuck, it's still Ghostbusters. It's still like
But is it an evolution or is it a stagnation where you're just gripping tenaciously to what had happened previously?
I think it's something in between.
One.
Like I don't think it's like an evolution, nor is it a stagnation. It's just giving fans what they want and giving this like because think about it, it's Ghostbusters, right? Like nothing will beat the first two, of course, but
That's fine. But if someone else picks up a proton pack and fights ghosts, I'm cool with that. You don't need to dredge up the corpses of old actors past their prime in order to show me that I still like the franchise.
here's the thing though, that so Dan Aykroyd was the main writer of Ghostbusters, right?
Great.
Yeah, but like I kind of feel like it's his opportunity, like to be be the Ghostbuster again. And in Afterlife,
like-
they
80.
Come on, boys, we can do this. We can do this.
I'm still good, but like they don't have to do stunts, right? They just have to show up, talk shit,
But
say their lines.
So okay, and I'm gonna quickly sideline this to music, and Ian and I have bitched about this a bunch of times. Bob Dylan played a show in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and everyone said, "You gotta go see Bob Dylan. You gotta go see the Bob Dylan show." And I immediately said, "Nope. I do not need to go see Bob Dylan as a 75-year-old folk singer trying to somehow suckle the nostalgia of his fame from definitely 40 to 50 years ago when he was at his prime."
Like the bowels of hell.
Yes, and I do understand in a sense, like let
What?
these people fucking retire, right? But when I watch these, like let's take Ghostbusters for example, like when I watch these movies, I would like to see the OG cast. They don't have to be the main. They don't have to be the main characters, right? And like in Afterlife, they actually don't have a lot of screen time. They just show up in the end. There's like, there's that connection, right?
Oh.
Like to the
we differ
but
greatly.
for me, it's like Dan Aykroyd wrote the movie, and it's kind of Dan Aykroyd and Ivan Reitman's birth baby and all that. Like
that's all I
he
need. That's
created
what
it,
I
so
need for connection. If a credit comes up saying written by Dan Aykroyd, I go, mwah, absolutely delightful. I don't need to see his and Bill Murray's old, decaying, decrepit ass schlep
90.
their way through some
90,
through a couple of minutes of nostalgic cameo. I can't abide it. It's not for me.
For me, it's like, the way I look at it is like they did it because they wanted to. It's something they were iconic with, right? So, and they don't have to do a whole lot. They just have to be on set, and they don't have to do like fucking stunts, or they do in Afterlife. They use the proton packs, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's you know what I mean? Like, and for me, it was like I love Afterlife, and Frozen Empire was lesser was not as good, but I still fucking enjoyed it because
I'm
it was a
trying.
Ghostbusters movie.
I'm trying to think of
Well,
a good
I just
example.
try not to read too much into it. I try to look at it as I watch it as a fan. There is a lot of fan service to it, but
Um,
they Bill Murray still plays Venkman great as a bitter old guy. Like he had less screen time in Afterlife, but in Frozen Empire he was great because Bill
But
Murray.
no, it should just leave them behind. Leave it behind and evolve. That's all I'm asking. And I'm saying this as a person who is old and who hates change. But leave stuff where it where it was. Leave this this beautiful, because the problem is for me, Afterlife has now tainted my nostalgia of Ghostbusters 1 and 2 because I've now seen them where they're too old to come out and rock the proton packs and get anything done. Leave them behind.
If you haven't seen, I haven't spoken for about 12 minutes because I'm trying to keep everything down. No, that's okay.
Something about
we've only got about
Ghostbusters.
8 to go. If you haven't seen Patton Oswalt's sketch on the prequels to the original Star Wars trilogy, if you haven't seen it, you must watch it. I watched it, and you're both clearly nerds like I am for Star Wars. I know you were talking about something completely different, but but watch it. It is so clever and so funny, and you will both get off on it. And every time I watch it, I cry laughing because it hits.
Technically,
right, the solar plexus.
That was an episode from Parks and Rec. But yeah, and Kieran and I did discuss whether or not we were Trekkies, or he asked if I was a Trekkie or a Star Wars fan. And I was a Trekkie for the longest time, but I'd still say I'm like a 75% of each. Because I'm not crazy, I like it.
We only have... Rebecca,
as you can tell, there's a Millennium Falcon hanging above me, so I'm a big Star Wars guy, but I do like a lot of old school Star Trek, like Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. You know, like Star Wars was a better show, and Star Wars was a better movie, epic movie thing, right?
Kieran, can you ask me a question?
You want another movie?
Yeah, we've got 7 left. We've got... Oh, God. Oh, God, I feel awful. I'll go.
Fun stuff you guys do.
We've got 6 left after this. Can you ask me a question? If you can. Can you read?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Ross.
What game... Oh, here's a good one. Yeah. What game does Beetlejuice play with Lydia to get her to guess his name?
What game does Beetlejuice play with Lydia to get her to guess his name? Ring any bells?
What game does Beetlejuice play with Lydia to get her to guess his name?
We've got 6 shots to do. Oh, I feel quite ill. I don't know. I have no idea. Any ideas?
I can't remember.
Can't remember?
No.
I wouldn't have gotten it either.
Ross failed.
I wouldn't have gotten it either because I haven't watched Beetlejuice in a while. But you want me to give the answer? Charades. The game was charades.
Right?
Oh yeah.
That was a tough one. I feel that was a tough one.
The game of the shot.
Ross?
Yes.
We've only got 5 shots to do. I'm going to bail as soon as I've done the last one. I am out of here.
Okay, I've accidentally poured like 20.
That's okay. You crack on. You do you. You do you.
Oops.
You do you. I'm going to be out of here really,
I
really
I
soon.
hope we're
It's
like I've
eight and a
peed
half.
twice, but I feel like
I have
me.
peed.
You should. Peeing
I
is.
know.
I mean, I'm no doctor, but
3, 2, 1, go. I haven't peed either.
that's fine.
I've gone a couple of times.
I've happily gone. I feel like that's acceptable. Everything.
I don't think I've ever had 8.5 cans of beer without peeing. I'm
Wait,
talking about
how many? I bought a 12-pack,
yeah.
and I have
Same.
4 unopened beers.
As do I.
You drank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I have 4 as well. Yeah.
But I feel like I have a lot of shots in front of me. How many do you have in front of you?
I've got 4.
You drank 7 cans.
I've drunk 7 cans and I have 4
I'm
left.
pouring them as we go.
I have definitely not drunk 7 cans. I have been low pouring. Have you been filling? Maybe
No,
this,
I've been doing 1 ounce. I marked
maybe this
the
is why I feel
glasses.
so good. Because I haven't
Yeah.
quite had as
All
much.
right.
Was this?
Oh God, I feel awful.
What did I miss? Did we solve racism or Star Wars yet?
Well, okay, so you're. I want to pull a whole Jerry Springer now for my final point,
Right.
but like I don't mind. I'm kind of a fanfare sucker to see all the OG characters, right? But I'm super open to seeing the new characters, like with the Ghostbusters, like Finn Wolfhard and Paul Rudd and the new cast, right? The young, like Paul Rudd's been in it for fucking ever. He never ages, but I'm a big fan of Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
a
it.
big fan of him being. I'm a big fan of Paul Rudd being a Ghostbuster, right? Like, and they all,
His introduction was done very well,
yeah.
for sure.
But with like the Star Wars sequel trilogy, I saw them all in theaters because they always came out on my birthday, right? Like Rogue One, and I know they're not as good as the OG trilogy. The OG trilogy is the fucking best. Like,
Force Awakens was amazing. It was excellent.
it was, and then
Last
Rian Johnson
Jedi
did.
was.
Even though he does great with the Agatha Christie mysteries, like the murder mysteries, like Star Wars wasn't his thing. But even though
What? Wait, are you saying Star Wars
he did
8
the,
was an Agatha Christie mystery? I need to reevaluate that movie immediately in my brain.
Rian Johnson did
1.
the second Last Jedi, right? But he also did the Knives Out movies with Daniel Craig,
Okay, yeah.
and they were great, like quirky. Like both the first Knives Out and the second Knives Out were good, quirky murder mysteries with great characters. Like Daniel Craig plays the gay Texan detective investigating them all, right? I mean, he's like great, and like all the other characters, like it's a stellar cast for both movies, right? Like, the second Knives Out, Daniel Craig's the lead detective again, and Batista is like this like podcaster, but he's like
And
trying to
second,
overcome.
100 shots. 7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Are you serious?
100 shots, gentlemen. You know what?
That was 100.
That was 100.
Nice.
I'm done.
All right. We did it.
I'm done.
It only took us 4 years.
I didn't quit out this time.
I don't feel great. I don't feel
We didn't
great.
run out of
I'm
beer.
okay.
I
I'm running.
I must have missed some or something because I feel alive.
Yeah. This is as much as
What have we
good
done?
night.
Have we solved racism and Star Wars movies? That is my biggest question. Have we
I
solved
feel
it?
we have.
I think so.
I feel we can't solve Star Wars and
If
racism
if
because the
if nothing
divide is.
else, Kier, do you want me to reach out the invitation to the next time that Roofhound is doing an open mic comedy night out in Kingston and offer a lift?
I mean, I'm always tentative about doing comedy, even though I would love to do it. It's just
I'm
one of
out
those
of here.
things like I don't want to suck. You know what I mean? Like
I have
I'm
delightfully
all right.
sucked, and it's all gone pretty well. Oh
But
balls!
the thing is, though, like I've done 2 roast comedies before, like clubhouse kind of style,
Yeah.
like with my friend Shogi. Because
Why?
I
Why
remember
has that not continued?
scheduling and all that. Like it was Shogi who really nailed down the roast comedy. Like
Yeah.
because we
Is he
for
not
me
doing
it's
it as
like
much anymore?
well, what was gonna happen was I was gonna take over. Like everyone targets me, right? I could rent out the Gastro Hall and all that, and just kind of praising these ideas. But
Okay.
it's been an idea I've been trying to get going, but it's just not lifting off, right?
Have you talked
So,
to? Oh man, I've
but
I've started getting some messages from Cassian Furlot and Les Barr out of Roofhound Brewing up in Kingston. It's a bit of a
yeah,
way, but Les wants to make Kingston and specifically his place, and he's expanding. He owns the place next door, and he wants to expand it and make it a bit more. He wants to be the comedy center of the valley.
okay,
He'd love for that to happen. Yuck Yucks is doing, well, not Yuck Yucks, but I think Cassian is doing another K Town comedy night. K Town comedy might be coming back to the Celtic room in the upstairs of Kentville.
in the Kentville area.
Yeah, the Kentville Patties. That's the one.
Yeah, I went to a show there. What was it?
I've been to a couple.
I just went there the once upstairs. The food sucked, but
Oh, don't talk about the food.
Travis Lacey, Trevor Lacey, and he was all right. He was the main guy. The guy before him, he did a. Remember Ralph's in Halifax, the strip club?
I have never
When it
gone
closed.
to that place.
No, but remember when it closed down?
I mean,
It
I
was
remember
like the
hearing
only
about
strip.
it.
Yeah, like you hear that the only strip club in Nova Scotia closed down, and the opening act
That's the one.
did a bit about it, and it was just like he wasn't funny. He was like this scrawny, hairy guy, like, and I almost think like it's something I want to do, but I want to make sure I come up with like I did the roast and it went off all right. Like I came off with good jokes, but there's a super direct narrative, whereas doing stand-up comedy, you gotta come up with a narrative that's you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
come up with jokes.
Well, I've been to the one in Newfoundland once, and I tried what I've got, and I don't know. Are you still talking to Shogi? Is he still doing? Like, is he still around?
He is, but a lot of the players that made it happen aren't doing it anymore. So, but it's like you can always. It's one of for me. It's like you'd always I can always look into new endeavors, or like if there's like a 5 minute stand up thing, like this guy you were saying,
As
like
soon
try,
as I hear
like
that, I'm gonna put you on my mental brain list for the next time that Kingston and Les Barr out of Roofhound is doing their open mic thing, and there might be one in February. I missed the one in this. Oh yeah, it's not gonna be one in February because wait, what day is it? No, there is gonna be one later in February. I missed the one in January because I was doing something else and I wasn't quite ready for it. But I want to go back. He's still doing. They're still doing the open mic comedy nights are happening out there, and I'm bringing whoever I've got because I want this to continue to be a thing.
yeah, because like with music's very popular in the valley, but comedy is not. But you could also
But you could
kind of create this like club mentality, like
you could argue
you
that it
go every
could be.
night.
It
It
could
could be
it
like
could be and should be.
there's. I mean, I've heard a lot of critics about stand-up comedy, but it's like, man, let them fucking try. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
because it's one of those things. Like, I've been on stage a couple times before. I did the improv show with you, right? Like,
That was so much fun.
that was a lot of fun. But if I were to use like a 5 minute bit, like I want to come up with a narrative, like you know what I mean, like
Uh,
just
it-
something something relatable too, like. But anyway, but it's one of those things like I have worked on before.
So okay, you're coming. Next time there is one, I'll let you know. I have on my list Jade because Jade used to do stand up.
And Jade was at the roast. She was the MC.
And there needs to be more of those. I would love because I think either you or Shogi reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to come do a roast of Kier?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll come do that." And
It was me. It
it
was
didn't
probably me.
happen. It was really sad, and I was looking forward to it. Mike Butler was going to be a part of it, but we both are part of the center stage thing, and we're hoping that but in conjunction with, and there's a lot of the K-Town comedy is slowly coming back, and Les up in Kingston is got the open mic comedy night, and we're trying to do something at center stage where we have like an improv thing on a regular basis, and the next
Okay.
time that's happening I will definitely loop you in and get you involved in that.
Yeah, just shoot me a message, and then I'll
And
try to work on some material, right? Like, I'm a big. For me, it's like I try to really like work on quick jokes, like really edit them.
mid to late month is usually when it kind of happens, so if you're ready-ish, probably the 20th to the 25th of February is going to be when they're going to announce something. I haven't seen anything yet, but oh balls, how do I make this happen? Whoop. If I pop over to me old
So I do gotta kind of sign off, but if you
Yeah,
want to
we
send
all
me a
do.
text,
I'll
yeah.
I'll keep
But
you
like
included.
I'm definitely down with this idea. Like, just
And this
try
is
to like
this is what
try something new.
Les's idea of being the comedy center of the valley, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I will bring everybody I can think of, and I will try to make sure that we're all just showing up and having a good time and making comedy a thing. And
And you could
that's all it should
kind of
take.
you could almost have it like an open like in a lot of ways the open mic music scene create a lot of opportunities. Like, and there's sometimes like hit and misses, but
It did,
sometimes
and
that's the road, right? Like,
I'm a little
um
worried that the open mic nights have turned really.
desperate and are not funny.
I,
Like,
I feel like they've
I
turned
see what
very
you're saying,
quickly
like
into
a little
trivia
bit more
nights.
structured, but like Yeah,
It's all
but
trivia
like,
nights now.
yeah, it is.
But
And trivia is not funny.
I had a really good time a couple weeks ago because you said you might stop by, but Dave, your bandmate from the Voodoo
Yeah,
Charmers, Dave stopped by with Perry at the jam session that I had at Wayfarers, which is now Bay of Fundy Brewing, and holy crap, we had a good time. They had a really good. I hope they had a really good time because it was awesome to host them, and that's going on this coming Sunday if you feel like being around there. But I'll reach out to them as well.
um, it's one of those things. Like, I love that it's a thing. Uh, Voodoo Tremors, played the open mic when Moore and Rose were hosting and
Yeah.
all that. For me, it's just a little bit like I like to go if I when I I've dropped I've actually dropped Dave off there like last time, right? Like,
Oh, really?
because we
Okay.
were coming from
Wait,
band.
I told him several times. I said, Dave, I'm impressed. I am so glad you went to a practice with your band and you still had the brain power to come out and
Oh, he
play a
he
couple
loves
songs.
it. He loves playing music. For me, it's like I'm not a really good jam guy. Like, I would go to support it and hang out and just
There's
listen.
there's 5 chords. I mean, you just watch what and we learned a lot of things about where people either watch chords or listen to chords or what the key is and you just go and do your thing. And luckily, I have switched over into kind of the percussion guy, and that's much easier to get into. And you're just kind of bam, here you go, have some boom thwacka thwacka thwacka.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. Like, I will go pretty regularly, and I'll probably bring an acoustic guitar just to like jam out. But
Yeah,
like, I won't come with like I'm not a singer songwriter, right?
there
I'll just come like just like fucking play some background.
and there are those, and there's a guy that was there, and honestly, he's been there for the last 5 or 6 sessions, and he's never played lead. And he said, "Oh, I feel like a song." I'm like, great, and it's wonderful. I love the fact that you can come in and be a part of it, or if you say you've got a song, I'll say, hell yes, play a song. Let's hear it.
It's a pretty welcoming environment.
That's the hope. The play, because as I always say, I learned how to be a musician, how to be a jam musician. Just going to parties and what's someone playing? Hey, what are you 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 playing? And who's got what? And you learn how to be a part of it.
No, that's kind of how I learned too. Like, I learned a little bit by being in Voodoo Charmers and being in a previous band with both and Dave. But I was in a band with Clayton Sal. Remember him? Clayton, Groove Demons, and
You
Joe was
went
their
from the
bass
Groove
player.
Demons to
And
the Voodoo Charmers?
pardon?
And you went from the Groove Demons to the Voodoo Charmers?
A little bit. I started up, but one of my first bands was with Dave. Grand Scheme. It was just an open mic night with Greg Tufts as our drummer,
Correct.
and
Okay.
then, but yeah, like it was very. All three of those bands were very intertwined and very kind of important in my growing of learning how to be a musician who plays in front of people. But anyways, I gotta call it a night. Good talking to you, Ross.
100%. Seek
Thanks
here.
for
I
having.
I will let you know about some more comedy stuff coming up.
Yeah, just text me. But
And
thanks for having me on
thanks so
tonight.
much for being part of this, man. It's a successful second attempt.
I made it all the way through.
Hell
We all
yes,
did.
we did it. All right,
All right. Good night, brother.
Seek here. I am just kind of representing Nine Locks over here, and honestly, this Nine Locks, what was it, Jake's something? lager. Wait, I don't remember. But it's pretty good. And we made it through a Centurion challenge, Century Club night, whatever the hell. I want to thank Ian and Kier so much for being here. And I want to also say thanks to Nine Lives for making a cool beer. And thanks to Toller for supplying us with our Toller Gold and our Toller Light for the other Ian and Kier that were here. Whatever. But we're back here every week night, not a week night, holy crap, week on Wednesday nights. We're here between 8 and 9 on our YouTube page, youtube.com/drink, youtube.com/@drinknsdry. That's the one. And that's where we put up all of the additional stuff. We're on, we're not on Twitter, what am I talking about? Instagram and TikTok of all places. And if you want to go straight to the source, you go to, oh my god, drinkns.unsupervised.beer, or a good friend James who is supporting us on that. And but the rest of the whatnot is through the Facebook page and the YouTube page. Hopefully talk to you soon, and we'll see you every week and next week, Wednesday night. Good night. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Of course, get out and enjoy some Nova Scotia craft beer because it's really, really good. If we are not examples of